What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks for visiting. I did a crazy thing. I went out and I bought the cheapest tube amp I could find on Amazon, which happened to be one that we probably all know and we all kind of like, even if we don't want to admit it. This is the Monoprice Stage Right, the 611705. So this is the 5-watt model. It's the little guy. Take a look at that little guy. Look at that little guy right there. Nothing fancy. We got a volume knob, we got a tone knob, and we got a 5 and a 1 watt switch here. We got an input and an on and off switch. So it's nothing too fancy, which I think is fantastic. If any of you guys are familiar with the Vugera 5 watt, it's got two tone knobs and a distortion and a master volume. I think that's too much on an amp this size. I think what you really need is you just need this. You just need a volume, you need a tone, and that's it. I mean, you don't even really need the 5-watt, 1-watt switch. They actually call that a switch to change the distortion properties. They don't even call it a watt switch. It says it on here, but they say it makes it easier to overdrive the amp if it's on 1 watt, which is out or in, and it stays cleaner if it's out on the 5-watt section. Now, let's get into the amp specs. It's nothing too crazy. It's got a 6V6 power tube. It's got a 12AX7 in the preamp. They are unbranded China tubes. They sound good. I don't have anything wrong with them. It has a 1 8-inch Celestion Super 8 speaker in the back. I don't know if you can see that. I'll take some close-ups of it, throw them up here. That's it. That's what you get. There it is. I think it looks absolutely killer in this kind of creamy Tolex look with this old school kind of fake leather handle, chrome front, and this nice kind of pattern on it. This is fine. I mean, they could have left this off. You're gonna see it in the back that it's Celestion equipped, but I think they probably had to do that since they're using Celestion speakers. Something this small, they wanted to make it stand out. Now, does it sound good? That's a big question. Well, we're gonna do some sound bites of it, but yes, absolutely, sounds killer. Now, I will be completely honest with you guys because that's how I am on this channel. I want you guys to get the best bang for your buck out of anything like this or a guitar or anything else. When I got this amp, the preamp tube was hot plating, so it would shut itself off. It would go into protection mode after, I don't know, about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. I figured it out, relatively pretty quick when you look back there and the preamp tube's bright red. So I changed it out for one that I had laying around. I had a Vox Mollard laying around, and lo and behold, the amp will stay on all day long at cranked volume, and it actually sounds a little bit better. When I got it, it was pretty dark. It had highs, but it was kind of muddy sounding, especially if you were like, anywhere down on like the 3 on the tone, it got muddy pretty quick. So I put that in there, and now it cleaned it up. It sounds a lot better. It's got a little more highs to it. It cuts through a little bit better. It's a great sounding little amp. Now, at the time I got this, these are $169 on Amazon. So it literally was the cheapest tube combo amp I could find. You can get a Hotone, like tiny tube head for, I think, $100, but I wanted something that if you bought it, you could play right out of the box if you didn't have a cab, or, you just wanted something fun to mess with. The other cool thing I forgot, but I remembered now, is it does, on the back, does have a speaker out, so you can go 8 to 16 ohms on the speaker out back here. You could run this through a 112, a 212, even a 412 cab if you wanted. I'm telling you, it will push a 412 cab. It gets plenty loud, and it sounds pretty good. It sounds good the way it is. The aesthetics are great. The one thing that bugs me is, if you guys can see that right there, they put this little tube logo thing here, but then they put the light off-centered. It kind of, if you have a little bit of OCD like I do with this kind of stuff, it really bugs me. I think they could have left that off of there, and it would have looked great, but they didn't, so there it is, and now we're stuck with that. So unless you want to try to peel that off of that chrome, which I'm not going to do. Turn on, it's got one little red LED light to show you that it's on. It takes probably a good 30 seconds. I leave it on for a minute or two before I play through it so the tubes can get warm. It is a small amp, so it doesn't take much for it to get hot, but it warms up fairly quickly. Now, hum, noise, anything like that, It has a little bit. It's got a little 60 cycle hum, but I think in my room, that's mainly due to my LED lighting, because I've noticed if I do turn it off, my LEDs underneath the desk cleans right up and it's pretty quiet. The distortion on it, it gets there. It's a good tube distortion sound, especially when you push it up to that, that full 5 watts with the volume completely cranked. It has a really good kind of old school rock feel to it. You can drop the tone off a little bit. I think it's downright almost AC/DC-ish. It sounds really good to me. It is what it is. It's a $170 amp and it has the sound. What I like to do with it is I like to take a boost pedal, like, hold up, this one here, like my little Vox Flat 4, which is a little tube boost pedal. I like to put this in front of it, leave the gain a little higher, and then you have pretty much a clean pedal platform where you can boost it and overdrive it a little bit, push that gain out of it. And then when you click it off, you have a really, really good clean sound. So you can do, Boston or anything like that, where you're going to want that super clean, or even some old country or even newer country if you're into that. I think it sounds great for all of this. Yes, if you do play it with a drummer, like a loud drummer, you're going to have to put a cab on this at least, because it's going to be drowned out by a large drum set, especially with a heavy-handed drummer, or even a really loud bass player or another guitarist using a way bigger amp. All in all, though, hell of a good value for anybody that's looking to get into tube amps super cheap, that's not worried about breaking their bank. Or if you take this and you hook it to a 112 or 212 cab and play it at a gig, small gig, you don't have to worry about somebody running up and stealing this. It's not like it's a 65 Fender Reverb or something like that, or an old Vox AC30 where somebody will rob the thing from you and then you'll be out thousands of dollars. It's $170. It's a great freaking value. So what do I think? Well, let's go through some sounds on it, and I'll just mic it up. I'll do some simple distortion sounds, and I'll do the clean on it, and we'll turn the tone knob a little bit. I'm not going to get too in depth with it because I am going to be miking it up with one of my condenser mics, so it is going to color the sound a little bit, especially coming out of here. The Super 8 sounds really good in person. It takes a minute to break it in, though. I've had the amp for a month, and broke in the speaker a little bit more. I've had this thing cranked a lot, and it's held up beautifully. Said other than that one tube that was bad from the factory. So if it does have a problem like that and it does overprotect itself and shut down, check the tubes. Mine, you could literally see it. It had a bright glowing red light or red plate, and it was also, you could see a bright shiny spark of electricity going through it. It was an immediate, okay, that's the problem. So I'll do a few sounds with it. We'll hook it up to probably my Schecter. I might bring the Paul Reed Smith, the Santana down, and we might use that. So let's get into that, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, there's some sounds. I give you a little bit of the clean on it, give you a little bit of distortion cranked up, ran my Vox boost pedal through it so you could see how it sounds with a boost pedal ran in front of it. I think it'd be good to run. You could probably run like any kind of booster, even a small distortion pedal in front of it, and it's gonna open it up quite a bit, and it's gonna make it sound pretty good. I already think it sounds pretty killer. I mean, I enjoy the sound off of it when it's cranked all the way to 10. I think it sounds amazing that way. But you guys tell me what you think down in the bottom. Leave me a comment, guys. Just leave me a comment. If you're new here, say hi. I like it when people give me comments and say hi to me. I really enjoy that. It makes my day a little bit happier. So you guys tell me what you think of this little guy. I think for your money, you really can't beat it. Now, I do know Stage Right does have a 15 watt, so if you want to be up a little higher, and you want to have more wattage to push something bigger, or you're just like, well, maybe I'll stage drive it and I'll use it as a gig amp. The 15 watt does have the switch. It goes from 5 to 15 watts. It also has bass and treble, and it's got your master. It's got a volume on it, so it's got a little bit more you can do with it as far as feature sets. But I was really going for the cheapest tube combo amp I could buy right off and plug it in and go and see how it is. Because honestly, you guys are why I do this, and I would rather see you guys have a good day instead of a bad day. So this, I think, will make you a really good day. You can also play with changing tubes out on it, preamp tubes, power amp tubes. Just have fun with it. So for 170 bucks, what happens? You blow it up and you go, shit, it's 170 bucks. And I know that could be a bunch of money if somebody's buying this, and they don't have a lot. But really, honestly, right out of the box, if it didn't have that tube problem, which I'm sure a lot of them don't have, this is a phenomenal amp, killer. So pick one of these up. They're on Amazon, $169.99, 170 bucks, shipped to your door with Prime shipping, which is fantastic. It's free shipping for this guy, and it looks good. I don't see a problem. It could sit up here on my desk all day long, and I wouldn't. Nobody gives it any guff. Most people that have been in here, I fix guitars all the time. Most people that come in are like, "Oh, that's a killer little 5-watt tube amp, little tiny amp." So, guys, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this amp. If you're new here, thank you for watching my videos. Hit that like and subscribe button if you guys want to. And this has been the little 5-watt monoprice Stage Right SR. Check them out. If you get a chance, give them a try. Thanks, guys. I will see you on the next run, and I hope to see you here on the next video.